welcome back to season 4 of Inkosi Super Cup. Here today with Arrow and Viper, and it's me, Appy, the host today for you. So, how are you guys? How are you going today?
Yeah, no, doing good. I'm really excited for the Inkosi. It's good to have another season of it, and we get to see exactly what these PUBG players are made of.
Nice, nice. So, Viper, how are you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pumped today, man. Because last week was a blast, and definitely I'm looking forward to see the kind of action and amazing plays that we are going to be seeing today. So definitely, I'm looking forward to what is going to be happening tonight. Yes.
Nice. So today we are here, as you know, to show you some realness, some PUBG hit, real African PUBG hits. So we are going to see the schedule today. We are going to go to Erengo, Sandhawk, and Miramar. The 16 teams will going to battle in these maps, and we're gonna see prize pool, the prize pool. Let's see. How are we going to eat after these matches? So for the whole tournament, we have $840. It means $105 per week. For the first place, we have 45, second place, $30, and the third and fourth place will always get 15. It's always like a good, quite a good chicken dinner. Like you can do something with that. And we're gonna see today the team standings for this week. Um, we're going to see how which teams are going to be competing. So we can see we have Vampire Esports, Underrated Esports that we saw last week, Panic Esports. Like I want to know, Mayro, because I didn't quite get to talk to you last week because we weren't here. So I want to know what do you think about these teams? What do you feel is going to be today? Do you know some of these teams?
So yeah, it looks like we got some new blood here in Inkosi. So definitely going to be interesting to see exactly what these teams can pull up today. I didn't get to see the action, but game by game, I'll get to understand exactly who we're going up against, who the teams are fighting, and so forth. And we get to see exactly who are the leaders in the Inkosi season 4. So it's going to be interesting for me today. It's going to be one hell of a roller coaster, and I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice, nice. So, Viper, you
Yes.
too. So, please tell me what deal today
Oh
about.
man, I'm really really pumped today, as I said earlier on, and I can see underrated esports already sitting pretty on that team list today, and yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot from them because last week they were the top team in week 1. They took it all away, followed by BBC and Active Gaming last week. Although I can't seem to see BBC and BBC is here as well, so definitely,
BBC is
this is
here.
gonna be really interesting, I must say. But active gaming is missing in this one. Probably will be able to see them next week. But definitely, I've got my eyes today on underrated esports as well as BBCX.
Okay, so we're going to see. Let me stay with you for a minute. Let us go through the picture, the points distribution. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. This point distribution is quite an even one, as you can see. We've got first place getting a 15-point game placement point right there if they finish with that winner chicken dinner. While they are really closely trailed by the second team if they get second place, obviously. For 12 placement points, I must say. And check that Q point out, 1 Q point for each Q you get could really count a lot. Imagine the second team getting IQ. They could even, overtake the first place and finish up in that, first position right there. So at times it's not really getting that winner chicken dinner. The Qs also count, but you need to find a way to make that balance between both your placement point and your Q point right there. Third place with 10 points, fourth with 8 points, fifth with 6 points right there, 6 points right there, and you can see the sixth place is going to be going on with 4 points. Even if you get a boatload of kills right there, you really need to keep up the consistency. You do want to make sure that you keep yourself between that first and fourth position with a whole lot of kills to stay afloat, to stay in the top, five, top six of that leaderboard right there. Seventh, 2 points, eighth to 12th, get 1 point. And if you die first, man, you're going home with 0 points, which is definitely not what we want to see today. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, definitely. It's something that it comes based off consistency. Or each game you need to work off consistency and balance it out with kills as well. Want to try grab as much as bit of both. And these teams, in Corsi, they're not getting in that consistency that we expect. Because you had, like we say, we're not seeing active gaming this week, but they were there last week third. But it's so hard or almost near impossible getting into these rounds, these three games that we have for you in the Inkosi. So it's interesting to see exactly what they can do, to try grab as much points as possible to stay on top of that leaderboard when it comes down to the promotion relegation into the Umzansi. So I'm really excited to see exactly what underrated esports can do, if they can keep that consistency just like they did the last time around. But it was a close leaderboard, and with that coming in second place is BBC. So yeah, Viper, tonight is going to be an interesting one to see these two teams go head to head again. Who will walk out with a winner chicken dinner, and as well as the overall win on the leaderboard? It's going to be interesting, man. But besides these teams, do you see any underrated ones that maybe you know of that you can mention of today to sort of talk about?
I've been seeing Sparza 5 around the community, playing a few scrims here and there, trying to, get their players up to par and whatnot. But definitely, they are one team that I've got my eyes on. I'm not entirely sure if I have Immortals out there, but if they are out there, definitely that is yet another team I want to keep my eyes on today. You do know, touching the topic you talked about earlier on, about teams getting to play to get into this stage where they end up on that weekly leaderboard. I was discussing earlier on with Fire, one of our co-casters, that only the strongest, is like the survivor of the fittest out here. Like, you need to finish top two to actually get to this stage. It is not an easy feat, I must say. These are the best of the best out here. These are the teams that you see that in the next few months are going to be up there, making waves in the esports African community, right? So definitely, these teams, you got to watch out for them, I must say.
Yeah, definitely. It's a single game to get into these weekly games of Inkosi. So with the lack of consistency like we are seeing from active gaming and so forth, could be pretty much hard grabbing the overall points and consistency towards that promotion relegation phase towards the end of Inkosi. But yeah, when it comes down to the best of the best, we are always going to see new names join us in the leaderboards as the registration is open to the whole of Africa. So every week there's new names, new blood, and we always get to see that new talent that we have in the Inkosi Super Cup hosted by Nord One Gaming. So it's interesting to say how the format is structured, and only the consistent teams manage to do well and so forth. But it's even the consistent teams that can have a bad week. We have seen it before, Yonkers not getting into any of the weekly Inkosi Cups, but it's just as simple as that. It's so hard, so tough, and these thin areas that they find themselves qualifying into these phases, into these weeks, is immaculate. And we get to see those three games, on Rango, Sandhawk, and Miramar, just play out to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, yeah. I always say something about PUBG being a very, very dynamic game. You have to be thinking on your feet. You have to be always looking at what is about to go wrong, thinking like 6 steps ahead, because it's not easy. So each of these teams need to keep themselves on their toes to make sure they are gonna be on this particular stage to be able to get on that leaderboard for each week towards that promotion relegation title that will go into Umzamzi right there. But yeah, we are going to be jumping straight into Erangel right now. Iro, what do you think about this flight path right now?
Honestly, I think it's a really good flight path we usually get from, northwest to southeast, but now it's a straight line, and these players can get a good distributed drop spots between them. Usually, the case they do like to line Query, Ponichi, and so forth, Ruins, but I'm hoping that we do get a widespread of drop spots so that towards that end game we do have a stack of a lobby coming into action. But for the most part, you can already see some of the teams already jumping and going left and right. It does look like we may potentially get a military base land for the first time in a long time. I haven't really seen that in play, and yeah, we finally get to see that. But yeah, definitely a good form of playing a fly over the map of Erangel. Erangel's beautiful, man. You got to love how these players get into the action, long distance, short distance, whatever the case may be, but they definitely get involved over here. It's not as heavy hitting as Sandhawk, but the action's still there, man.
Oh yes, the action is always there. Rangel is always popping actions left, right, and center right there. But that best zone popping towards the western part of this map is something that you love to see. As you can see, it's almost as if the team splitted up right up around that center. Some going east, like half going east, and remaining just in dead center of the map right there. So some of these teams are already pristinely in a pretty good position already, and you can see the guys over on the Sosnovka military base right there needs to be careful, especially when they are trying to come out, because BBC does seem like they are going to be waiting on that bridge for any team trying to make their way in onto the main island. But we'd love to see it. We'd love to see how that one is going to turn out. It's quite surprising how Georgiopol is a bit empty right now. I was expecting a lot more teams to, fill up South Georgiopol, North Georgiopol. There are lots of buildings there. Probably they don't get enough loot out there. Maybe that's why we don't see as many teams going towards that position right now. But school apartment does seem to be brewing with a lot of activities as these guys are trying to stock up, get those ammos, get the vest, get everything right now, just to set themselves up at an advantage to, take this fight later on in the game right there. You can see a lot of these teams spreading out, landing in such good tactics right there, so that they can, take advantage of their land space and get that much loot right there. It's amazing to see how much the African scene has grown, Hiro.
Yeah, no, it's every new broadcast that we get out of Nordwind where we get to see, new talent and so forth. And especially in Kosi, it's like we mentioned before, it is, one of the hardest to get into these rounds, but every new time there's new teams that do so. So that's what Inkosi is all about. It's about trying to be consistent, and within Africa, just how big of a continent we have, we always get different teams making it their way into the Nkosi weeks and so forth. So yeah, it's amazing, and we get to see that talent in the games in the evening over here that we have. So I'm looking forward to it. Off spawn is always the slow action that we get to see. We get to see them get the best loadout that they prefer, the consumables to use in the end game and so forth. But you can see now that Mars, 10, SGE, YKI, SPWL, they all now need to make a rotation to the west side of the map. And it's going to be interesting to see how these teams rotate, because, they could be easily gatekept by these teams that are already in the zone.
Yes, yes, they could. Especially towards that Rozok axis right there, you can see YK how your killer is. If they're not careful rotating into that zone right there, they might be running straight into Immortals on that axis. Check it out. Impulse already spotting someone off. Then the distance is gonna be horror. He's taking the shot in with that. I really do love this MC thing back when I was like an active player right there, because you could take effective long, really long range shots with it, and still deal the damage if you could tap quite fast as well, especially when you use it with that 4x right there. But it's amazing now. You see a lot of these gun metas come and go. You see, there was a time when guys were always using K 98. You always see everyone with an M4 and K 98, but M4 is still out there. It's one of those metas that's refused to die because it's such a reliable weapon. A lot of people always use it with the 3x to 4x right there. But as we have it here, we can see a lot of these teams are just exchanging long range bullets to each other right now. Using up their mess. You need to be careful on that one though, because you do want to keep as much as possible meds throwables early on in the game. So you can use them for the late game as well. But I would love to see how this is going to be turning out for a lot of these teams. There's also one thing I always like to do back when I was a player, Iro. I early on in the game, immediately the first circle pop, I always try to make like an educated guess of where the final circle is going to be. Have you ever done that in the past?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is battle royale, so those zones are RNG, but you always try to predict, and sometimes you do get close to it. But it depends on how many times you play, how much experience you have in the battle royale genres to really predict and almost get correct in terms of where the zone is gonna land upon. But it's almost near impossible to always get it correct because of the RNG base that we get in battle royale.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. If you would predict this one, where would you say this final circle is going to end?
Honestly, I think it's just going to continue pushing west side. So potentially Gatka, potentially there, or even Ruins could end up over there, the zone, round about the
Yeah,
area between Gatka and Hospital, around those three areas, just in the middle of that.
interesting, interesting. I think I am going to go for a school finish.
Mm,
I really do. Want, it's been a while I've seen a school Rozok ask this finish right there. With a team patched up right inside school, and then you have like multiple teams all around smoking up. You've got mini red grenades landing every axis right there.
mm.
Every single team trying to make their way, away from that deadly zone that is coming in right there. But we'll love to see how this one is going to be going on right now. As Impulse finally finds the hit onto its man off in the distance with that Bison. And well, I don't think he'll be able to finish that one because I do remember it was a long range weapon, long range fight going on right over there. But Nox and this always comes out in the early games. Oh, does seem like SO has already pushed up as they get yet another knock. Interesting. The nades, man, Iro.
Mm, beautiful. As Moon manages to pick up Aura over here, GSC does look like they're in a sticky situation, trying to get some confirmations and so forth, but really well done from the team. It's just now down to Oracle, as he's the only living man in GSC, but doesn't seem like SO has managed to find him. But he makes himself present by taking a couple of shots, and this could be a GG's to him. As now Moon definitely finds exactly where he's located, and JSC out and dusted. And for the record, guys, if you guys are watching, that is the first form of knocks and confirmations we have in this game. So we're definitely going to be looking at a stack of a zone going once the blue zone starts kicking in. But man, only 4 players have managed to die since the beginning of this game.
Yeah, I better start doing my voice warm up right now because that final cycle is gonna be crazy right now because you can see these teams are just moving in quite slowly, trying to survive for as long as possible. Unfortunately, GSC already out being the first team, and that is something you don't want to do in these kind of games because every single game is going to count towards what the final standings is going to be for the week. So you don't want to be messing around like that. You want to keep yourself alive for as long as possible. You want to make sure you get as many kills as you can. So you don't want to make any mistake. Is going to be definitely detrimental to the performance of your team right there. But as we love to see, he's getting Ragnar coming in and going for that confirm real quickly. That is just really sad to see. Losing players early on this game. It's still zone one, about 9 minutes in, and teams are already losing players. Probably, not that many players lost. Another person just went down on C teams, but Jeff doing the havoc onto havoc right there as well. This final circle, man, it's going to be hot. I can already see it.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely gonna be juicy. We're gonna see some action going a lot. I did mention those rotations are gonna be very slim, and we're starting to see exactly how slim that rotations are for many of these teams because they are finding each other. They're trying to get into good positions, and that's what PUBG is all about: is strategic, getting into the refinement of your areas and just getting a good location because like you mentioned, 3x 4x in this map is going to be deadly, and we did already see from Impulse a good knock in the kill feed earlier on over there. So we're going to have to wait and see how these players play it out. You can see a couple Techno and them IX in the very top left of the map, making slow rotations, trying to get a dead side rotation over there. SG as well, moving all the way right side, just passing another team, however. But now it's just down to 4 squads to get into this final or this next zone that has formed over here. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens. But you can see the scram and cram that we are getting in from the teams there. You know, a lot of these guys are quite close to each other. So anyone can start picking up some knocks and start making some noise in the game number one.
Yes, definitely. They could make some noise in actually this round two, this zone two about to close up right now. But one thing I've noticed right now is that the top gunners in this game right now, the ones from last week, BBC underrated esports, they have already found their way dead, almost dead center of the circle. BBC just sitting dead center of the circle right now, finding that perfect positioning. One of the things that are critical to how you are going to perform in this game is getting that prime positioning, as well as just set yourself up in that position so that you can gather as much information as you can, to know how you react to situations, know how to react to each zone pop. You don't move blindly right there. So these are the things I'm seeing a lot of these teams already doing, setting themselves up in positions where they could actually gather as much information as possible. Oh man, I kill off on the distance. He's knocked already. Will be looking to see if teammates will be coming over to get that revive, but he has been spotted as well. He's got to be careful because I don't think Moon is going to show him any mercy right there. It's not happening today, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And you can just see exactly this team grabbing in as much eliminations as they can possibly. Shooting, however, into the abyss and not really connecting anything. Oh, and talk about a
Ooh.
fantastic lineup of a shot. Moon, honestly, able to beam, but I don't think they're going to make the call to get that confirmation. They can only deal a little bit of pressure with the shots left, right, and center. But yeah, really, Clutch God now needs to get back on his feet because if he's a Clutch God, the team is going to need him for the end game areas.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really impressed with that one coming from Moon. He was basically shooting at someone in the other direction, and then one moment he just like, let me check this out. He spotted one man with a blink within a blink of an eye. Oh man, your prediction, bro.
Yeah. Told you it's gonna be between that areas, Gatka and Ruins, and I feel like now these teams who had located very south of that second zone now need to make a drastic call to start making those rotations. Hopefully they have some vehicles with them and they're able to make an ease rotation so we can keep this stack of a lobby that we have in the Inkosi.
Yes, definitely. I now got my eyes stuck on these guys from SO right now because they are standing out quite well. They got to the center and they are making sure there's no team that will get close to their position, beaming at everyone. Moon with that 3x with the M4 really doing a good job in that position. Is making sure to make a statement that I don't want anybody coming towards this position. If you make that mistake of looking to see if we are weak at this point, I am going to down you. And if I have the opportunity, I will take this as a kill placement point for us right there. But unfortunately for Sabaweli Kitten right there, he just got taken out, blown up right there. And the rest of his teammates are also taking a lot of damage out in the distance. Got to be careful about that one. Immortals also trying to make their way in from the western side of this map. Might be running into the guys from, your killer is right there. Got to be careful on that one as well. We want to keep our eyes on that place to see if that fight is going to be happening in a bit. I do love to see a lot of these fights happening while these teams are trying to get into the zone, as well as the zone pressuring them to get in as well, because you have to fight another team, fight the grenades, which is one thing I also really fear in this game because it's a one shot one knock kind of thingy. And then as well, you still need to fight the enemy right in front of you with the zone right behind you. So at times it's always good to just set yourself up where you have less events against you right there, so you can really focus on what matters, which is getting that kills and putting yourself in a position where you are going to get a lot of placement points, Iro.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see, like, for example, SG moving all the way left side, trying to hug that zone so that they can, make the rotations over there, which is fantastic. BBC look to have a perfect pit for themselves. They got some vehicles lined up in there as well to make the rotations if the zone does not fall on them. But if you can see that defensive formation that they have set up for themselves to look in all directions and cover up that area. Amazing, amazing scenes we are seeing from them. And it's no surprise to why they did so well last time around. Maybe this time we get to see that action as well, dispersed on the map. But now, guys, we're down to 48 players, and the zone's just about to shrink even further, and we get to see exactly where the new location is before these players start making the rotation. But Tron is here to say there's no time to rest. He gets a knock over there, and he now is trying to get a finish or maybe even more damage. You can see Rage pull in from the side over there, and they do have the cover on the team. Fear does manage to pick up another knock as well, so they do have the advantage in terms of numbers, and they are very aggressive. Daniel trying to get in. Daniel dealing a 50-50, but for now, nothing too serious. He is going to get knocked, managing to find himself down by Fear, and this is definitely going to be AGVs going into RPT.
Yes, definitely. This is one thing that I was commending SO for earlier on right there. You could see RPT was trying to make that push onto their position and was able to successfully get a knock, which fueled their confidence to make that push up right there. You can see that it's going to be IXT already cleared out in 13th position right there. RPT got that knock and was able to push up, which is exactly what Moon was doing quite brilliantly in the position he had earlier on, making sure every single person looking to make that push onto their position was getting knocked. So they were passing a statement around. And unfortunately for our X team, they need to go sit down and work on how they take these fights better in the future. And we can still see BBC underrated esports and SO still sitting pretty down in the zone as NW is also getting into a fight right now. This is a crazy one as Tempest is really close by. I think they have the upper hand right there. Yeah, definitely does look like they have the upper hand, but Tempest just exposed himself to someone off in the distance. Oh, Chapo with that off angle. That is such a beautiful position right there from Chapo, man.
Yeah, you don't want to put yourself in that position. Very wide open in the late games. You are inviting a third party. You are literally giving them the dinner for the evening over here. So really crazy play coming in. But now we can see NG, a little bit on the back of the wall right here because they've lost a couple plays right now. And it looks like it is going to be down to Mercy and Myth. Will they be able to clutch up is the question. Has NWR is getting couple confirmations as well as a revive. Myth is now going to be taken down as well. So it's just left to Mercy, who's in the building, somewhere hiding, trying to get his cover as much as possible. Chapo also in the distance, getting in those grenades. And no! Chapo does it with a Kobe of a grenade, and he gets the player out of there. Mercy trying to hide, but no, he cannot, because Chapo's managed to pick that one up for himself.
Wow, Chapo, man. I do love the fact that they sent 3 men forward, and these 3 men found the perfect balance between, attacking and defending that position. They did not just fully rush in. At the same time, they kept on, testing them, coming in, coming out, testing to see where these guys are hiding. They don't want to go in blindly. They were just baiting them along the way, and they left Chapo out in the distance so that if anyone was trying to bail or pull a quick one with a nade or something, Chapo was just out there, waiting to take them down, and he took perfect advantage of it. I'm pretty sure from their trainings they've been able to spot that Chapo is their hitman from a distance, and they used him perfectly to that position right there. Chapo, quite impressive play right there from MGC. This position that BBC has taken right here right now is such a beautiful position. Unless someone could get a nade into that position, that nade could be disastrous, man.
I mean, by the way things are looking today, it looks like we have a couple Kobe's, in the field
definitely.
right here. We've already seen some knocks with grenades earlier, and we get to see more knocks with grenades from Chapo over there and confirmations. But yeah, SO now need to make that rotation in. YKI, RPT, YKI very much a separator from Hasb. As you can see, Hasbot over there. He's very on the other side to Shroud. So interested to see exactly what they will do to get back together. Whether or not they will is maybe gonna have to play as a solo to try grab some placement points, and then Shroud and his other forms can do the most they can over there. But also we got Vam over here, Ragnar, Master, and Dalby, Z-God. They're also in quite a decent position. You want to be in the zone, covered up. They have the barriers set up. They are dealing the damage across the board with those long distance shots. So they really set up in a decent place, and you can see this natural cover that they have set up for themselves. But again, a grenade can end that for them if they get noticed.
Yes, underrated esports, and so already getting into it, and Moon being the one getting the knocks yet again. Although it does seem like they've been able to, return that knock, return the favor. So each team will be going back to lick their wounds in a bit right now. But the zone is getting really tight right there. We still got 10 teams alive right now, 35 players, lodging grenades at each other right now, and shooting every single pixel out of place in this particular match. You can see ESO taking a lot of damage right now. Moon still up alive, trying to see if he could get some. Ooh, these nades!
Mm,
Underrated esports are really trying to show why they are currently on top of this leaderboard right now. You can see them pushing it from every angle, drip onto Moon right now, going 1v1, but Moon cuts him up that distance, takes him, but unfortunately, Clutch God comes behind him and takes him down, saying, "That is why my name is Clutch God. I am going to clutch this one right there." Taking SO out in 10th position right there. Still have a lot
man,
of these teams.
they make it look so easy. SO was really aggressive in the beginning of the game. They were taking out teams and so forth. But Clutch God and their team, they just went on a stampede and took them out with ease. Didn't even look like it broke a sweat for them as they did a team wipe in less than seconds. But now we get into the fun parts where we have 9 squads remaining, 29 players, and everyone's in the zone and we can't see exactly who's in the best of positions. You got VAM and BBC. I really feel like they're in the really best position, even more so for VAM because they still in the zone and they can still stay in the same location that they were previously. And we did see them with that natural cover. So for now, they look like potential winner chicken dinners. But I'm not gonna call anything or even commentator curse because I am known for that.
Yeah, definitely. They do look to seem to be in a very good position, but such positions, could be really, really dangerous because you have a lot of teams looking to actually take that position from them, looking to get into that particular axis because they know that is where they can get the best out of the game. So it might put a lot of eyes on them. So it could turn out really good for them or bad, good as in they would be able to get a lot of kills from that particular position if they make it work for them. So as Chapo is going to be off on the distance, about to face off against a full team from Mars right there. Got to be careful. You don't want to overexpose yourself to these guys because once they know you are there, oh, just as I said, that Chapo is going to be out of the game right there. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Chapo. I might have, jinxed you right there. But yeah, it's crazy how this has turned out so far. You can see another team just trying to make their way in right there. Got to be careful. BBC might be getting a little bit of visit. Ooh, yep. Pyro,
Mm. This is
man.
beautiful stuff coming out over here. BBC really look to be in a pinch right now. And grenades, grenades. It's Vamsy God who has been in a really well position to get involved over here. And for the most part, does not look like this is going to go in favor of BBC. I don't know how they can go into a abyss, but you can see now they're dropping those smoke grenades, trying to get some cover over here. They are using the trenches as well, and this is just an invitation to for third parties, and you can see the third parties lurk in the distance over there to try get in some shots, to try get in some cover. It does look like they've lost Muzz, but still they got Kova, Havoc, and Fear, and for the most part they do look to be a strong team to set up good defenses for themselves using the smoke grenade, etc.
Ah, yes, they do have. I loved how they've made a little fort for themselves right there with their vehicles and, use the smoke to, just block out all the different angles that could be delicate to them right there. And they've got someone off in a distance with a little bit of an angle on the rest of the team just to keep them at bay. So to just give them that warning, you don't want to push up onto our positions, but right now we can see Aimless looking for that angle onto their solo wildcard man, fear behind, and he finds that on them, leaving them quite open as Aimless does seem to want to push up ahead unknown. Oh, they got one man down, so they got to slow down. That's one thing I always say about these games. Even though you have one man down, if you are looking to make an onslaught onto your enemy team, I think you should not stop that because you are most likely going to be giving the enemy team and the time to reset as well. So if you feel confident in the rest of your team, as I just said, you can see them making that push up and wiping. Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
geez, yeah, that is really good from coming in from the team. They didn't give the team any time to breathe. They were just in there and they set the nuclear bomb off over there. But now we are getting into these final zones, and man, Mars and their team are really looking good. Aimless needing to heal up quite a bit as he takes some things. But you can see Z got no consumables in the back pocket. He's unable to get any more HP. So he's going to need to do a magic and a half, pull a rabbit out of a hat, and, come through with a absolute god play to find himself in a winner-winner chicken moment. They did put themselves in a sticky situation, trying to get too greedy with eliminations, looking left and right, and then they lost Ranger. But just as I say that, you can see Zgod get a knock over there, but will it be enough to get confirmation to more kill points is the question. And there's some good shots from Aimless. Aimless is really beaming these kids right now.
Yes, yes. Aimless is really doing a good job right now, but you can see them set up over that just little inclination right on the western, on the southern part of this map right there. You can see them just on that inclination, so they have a wide overview of everything that is going on right around them. As you can see, Wham is going to be in a lot of trouble right now because they are bringing in the onslaught onto their position with the nades, try to get them from every axis. Unfortunately for Vam, that is going to be Vam out right there in top four, I believe. And I see this team 10 right now. They seem like the strongest team with all four alive. It's a 1v4.
Oh, and I don't see how he can do it, but he's
Wait,
doing
what?
something. He's managed to knock two of the players, but it does look like that's just going to be a GG's and a little bit of a hero act going down to 0 in a quick time spent over there. And Tron is falling out of that one. But for the most part, it's Zinx, Turbo, Aimless, and Unknown to walk out with this winner chicken dinner and a couple kills to the name. That looks like 12 kills, if I'm not mistaken. That is going to put them up on that leaderboard for today quite high. And, you got RPT just quite behind them with 11 kills in second. So they're still in the run for, the overall win for tonight. And we can see exactly what will be happening. But Clutch Guards, Zaylee, Revenge, and Drip, 2 kills each, evenly distributed. They're going to land up third with 8. Amazing.
Yes, yes, yes. It's just beautiful how this turned out. You can see the top three teams right there. They definitely are something to write home about, I must say.
Wow, wow, wow. What a game. What a game. So we started losing players early. Viper, your school prediction was wrong. Iro's prediction was right. It was right for today. We could see VBC really came up since last week. They were really qualitative today with their game. Let's hope they'll keep going for the next rounds. We say, like, what do you think? What did you think about Moon, the little butterfly who killed almost lots of players? Viper, what did you think about this SO Moon player?
So this is one thing I always like to say. When you see players like this that come out and perform quite well under such pressure, it only comes to show that these guys have put in the work. They've gone to that training ground. They've spent hours after hours trying to perfect their shots, their movement, their perception of the environment, and they've also we can't just give all the credit to them to the player alone. They've also worked a lot with their team because it is a team play. As you're trying to shoot someone else is definitely covering your back right there. So I would say kudos to Moon. His training is actually showing out there. They just need to come together more as a team and make that training that they've been having every single night, every single time, make it count a lot more, finish up a lot higher in that standings right there. So definitely it's amazing. Well played from him.
Yeah. So, and you jinxed it too for Chapo. I was rooting for him. As soon as you thought he was dead. Oh. So, Arrow, what's your take on the game? What is it that you expected and happened or did not happen?
Honestly, I think it played out exactly how I expected. It is Inkosi They did grind it out in at the first rounds to make it over here for the 3 games. So it was some slow combat action. The teams getting to feel each other, who they're up against, who looking at the kill feeds and so forth. So it was all just a learning phase, and maybe in game number 2 we're gonna expect something different. It's Sandhawk though, so it is aggressive either way. But I feel like these players are gonna feel their confidence, feel how their level of gameplay that they have against the oppositions, and they're just gonna go all in, or they're gonna pause a little bit and try get as much placements as they can. But it's still gonna be a bloodbath for game number 2 because they know who they're going up against, and it's just gonna be a GG's over there.
So we can see now the previous game standings. IB7 are first with 15 place points and 17 kills. So a total points of 32. We have Raptors and Underrated Esports again on the third spot with 9 kills and 19 points. So what did you think about like Underrated Esports performance today, Iro? Let's stay with you, Iro.
Honestly, they did so well. I mean, they took out teams with ease, and you could really see how they have a different skill level when it comes to the map. To everyone they're going up against, it was just a simple, easy play out for them, and it was unfortunately, they got bit by their own hand because they got too aggressive, too confident going into that one. So I feel like, yes, you guys are very well played. You guys have really well skill, but slow it down a little bit, and you guys will find yourself being more consistent in terms of getting the winner chicken dinner as well as kills, because you get to breathe a lot more. You get to sit back and analyze what's in front of you. So I feel like, just take a breather, and maybe you will find yourself being on top properly.
Okay, nice. So, Viper, which team like kind of surprised you today? I know you're rooting for VVC, but do you have any other team that really catch your eye today?
Yes, definitely. In as much as I was actually hoping to see BBC and Underrated Esports pull the usual gameplay they gave last week, they didn't disappoint quite much. I was quite I caught quite a shock today when I saw Sim outplayed handling themselves quite well, even though they didn't finish too good. But So Moon impressed me, I must say. And then IB7 finishing in the top place right there with that winner chicken dinner. All I can say right now is you guys need to keep up that consistency. Let's see you bring it in the Sunwalk and the Miramar game.
Yeah. So, before that, before going to the second game, we're going to go on a little break and we'll see you shortly after. So, let's see us out. welcome back, everyone, to the Inkosi Super Cup Season 4 by Nordwing Gaming. You are right, you are here on the best channel to see the best African plays for PUBG today. So, we are going to see the last rankings for you who did not follow the first game today. We're going to see who was the best on the first game. So as you can see, we have IV7 on the first place, Raptors and underrated esports on the second and third place. We have lots of teams. We have BBC, which Viper was rooting for, but there are 10 in 10th place. We hope to see more of them on the second game because they're really nice since last week. Their game was very good, as I can say. I want to ask Viper, who do you think is going to perform on the second game on Sandhawk?
As I always say, this second game, it's Sandhawk. It's a game of getting to know what you're doing really quickly, taking those fights and getting out of it as fast as possible. So to an extent, I some part of me is shouting Sims outplay SO with Moon on it. Probably would be able to
Mhm.
bring things up a notch. I must say. So yeah, probably SO because of Moon.
Yeah, what do you think, Arrow?
Yeah, no, I was about to say the same. The way they chose their combat was very quick and so forth, so they know how to, get the cleaning service, get the brooms, and sweep up the teams and send them back to the lobby. So, for the most part, I think that's the team who's definitely gonna dominate in Sandhawk. But I don't want to put my fingers on it and be like, yeah, they're gonna do it because it's Sandhawk. Third parties are there. Fourth, fifth, even 16th parties can come involved in the fights over here. So we're gonna have to wait and see exactly how SO play this one out. But they look like a very fast-paced team.
And what do you think is the best weapon like to go on Sunhawk today?
Honestly, you want to go with SMGs because it's close combat. You want to try get in as much damage as you can, possibly. Even your M4s, like you mentioned, Viper, those really work even if it's close or long distance.
Okay. What do you think, Viper? What's your choice strategy for Sunhawk?
Yeah, definitely choice strategy moving fast, get the job done. But as Iro said, correctly right there. He said the SMGs, we've always known SMGs to give us average damage right there, but they are really, really fast weapons. The Tommy gun, the UMP, so they are weapons that you want to be using close range. Even though if you are a player that is quite confident with your aim with CQCs, I would recommend the AK, even though it's really slow, but getting the headshots with AK in a close
Oof.
quarter combat, the SMGs do not stand a chance, I must say.
So I want to get a shout out to my French speaking my speaking. Je n'ai pas bien parlé français aujourd'hui. Je vous ai pas bien expliqué le jeu, ce qui se passe aujourd'hui. Ça chauffe en tout cas. Il y a beaucoup d'équipes qui se battent et actuellement vraiment c'est chaud parce qu'il y a des équipes de la semaine passée qui ne sont pas au top cette semaine. Bon, on comprend pas très bien, mais en tout cas, on espère que ça va bien se passer. I was saying in French, those who don't understand, that it's very random today. We don't know who will perform because last week we had some teams perform. Today they don't perform quite as well, but we are going to see. So I want to ask Viper, do you agree with the cleanup approach?
Yeah, to what you first said before that, that's it's so random. C'est bon. And yeah, to the cleanups, I must say, yeah, the cleanup approach is what you really need, especially especially if you are taking the fights on open grounds in hilly places where you have teams could approach you from different angle. You want to make sure you are in and out really quickly.
So we are going to go on the game, and I will leave you to it. And let's go.
Yeah, game number two, Viper. I'm going to ask you this question now. What do you think about this playing sort of job that we are getting?
Oh, it's my time right now, though. Okay, I see what you're coming with right there. Well, I must say, whenever it comes to Sandhawk, and the flight path doesn't really matter that much for me because the map is not that big. So most times the flight path will always favor wherever you're trying to go. In fact, you can see most of these guys are going towards the western part of the map as the first zone just popped right up north right
Oh,
there, man. I would say
that
this is just a zone two, Iron.
Yeah, that is a bit of a scary zone form because if you look at everyone, they're going on the far left, they're going all outside of that zone. But it's Sandrock, such a small map, and we're gonna definitely see these teams on rotations, trying to go to the edge of the map. I mean, if you look at the southwest, it's just GG, but Unfolds SO, they find themselves in action over here. But no, he turns around, he turns the tables on the team. He gets that elimination. It's TBS Bot Jeff who's able to keep consistent in his aim and grab himself a wonderful one. But say Ghost, he's over here. He's trying to get involved as well. But what now can deal the damage back to Ghost, and maybe they get SO out of this one. This is something we talked about: is that these parties or these fights can go to you or cannot go in favor of the. But GG's.
But Jeff is doing a lot of wonders out here. He dropped the first one, dropped the second one, despite being under such intense pressure, and he is going for the finish. One after the other. Seems outplayed is definitely getting outplayed. I think I jinxed them yet again. Caster jinx.
Definitely. I mean, we are down to snipe, and unfortunately, this is not a snipe map for you guys over here. And we do have this single individual. He's just gonna let those shots though. He's down to a little bit of HP, switches guns, but that is it. SO is out of this one. The first team to take the knock, take the confirmation. And oh no, we were wrong. We were definitely wrong when it came down to those predictions on who would do well. Their combat skills just were outgunned, outskilled by TBS, and we could just say GG's to Bot Jeff as he manages to pick up those eliminations in the midst of being under pressure.
And that was a stellar, beautiful performance right there coming in from But Jeff being able to handle himself with such calm and endeavor right there when he was getting pushed from every single angle. This is one of the tests of how good the player is actually is where you are in a very tight spot. But Z God, unfortunately, putting himself in such a position where the rest of the enemy team that's going to be Mamas pushing up onto their position and were able to take him down right down. So now we have two teams already back to the lobby, and it is looking all shades of beautiful out here as a lot of these teams are already trying to make their way down in back into the zone. You can see a lot of these guys just controlling. That's going to be Server Wireless BWL right there controlling rings alongside Tambang as well. So I don't know. The first two fights that has happened so far has just gotten me so riled up, and it's just amazing how these fights happen when the game. Oh, yet another one about to happen, Nairo.
Yeah, JSC Hitman looking to finish a contract of his own over here as he tries to get a couple of shots, but it doesn't look like he's able to connect anything just yet. But Oracle Aura, they have a good distribution of players around, so they do definitely set up that offensive strategic play. A grenade had went in and connected onto ID over there as well, so that was a good connection of note. But look at Bomb. Bomb gets a good connection of a elimination of note over there. He manages to knock the player. Now comes down to what they do. Do they have the numbers to go in? Do they have the HP to settle things down? It does look like it is going to be a chicken between these two teams, and now it's just a bloodbath of note. Bomb does look like he doesn't see the player behind him, and unfortunately, his awareness was just not there, and they managed to turn things around for themselves. Even though they had the first player knocked in their team here, Viper, they just turned
I
tables around and made it work for themselves.
I sincerely thought that was going towards the GSE side. I don't know what happened to Bomb right there. He just missed that man right behind him. Because, I could, tentatively say what happened right there. It was probably like, oh, let me check out this house. And then the rest of his teammates are, we are knocks. Come get us up. Come get us up. And he's like,
Mm,
okay, okay, I'm coming, guys. And then turn his
mm.
back right on the last layer that he could have gotten right there inside the building. But GG's well
Yeah,
played right there to 10x, I must say.
honestly, he did see him for a split second, but just his awareness over there. I mean, yeah, we
Yeah,
can only those are situations that you can develop your reaction timing as well. He could have easily done a 180, but those are comes with experience. Playing in the Inkosi every single week
weak.
will get you to that level of consistency. I mean, it's going to be amazing to see how these teams develop, whether or not they keep that consistent in the open quals to get into the 3 games of the evening each week. We are only yet to find out how these players do it.
Yeah, I do always say that in this game, you don't look twice. Never look twice at your enemy. You check, you
Definitely.
spot your enemies the first time. You don't even have to wait to think about it. Your first instinct is to press that fire button and try to get in as much bullet as you can into his, helmet. I do love that sound effect from PUBG now. When you hit headshot, you keep hearing that pound, 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 pound. So you
Yeah,
know you are
yeah.
definitely doing something right when you hit this headshot right there. So I always tell players like that, one thing you need to cautiously work on as you are training, as you are playing each of these games, is when you spot an enemy, when you spot a pixel out of sight, you spot that pixel that is not in the right place right there. Just make sure you open that fire. Don't think about it. Fire first.
Yeah, no,
Make sure.
it's exactly like that. The moment you see the player in your screen, in your tiny mobile or iPad or whatever you're using, as soon as you see the player, you're supposed to take your first shot, and you'll definitely be the victor in that. But we say that, and then we look at players like Bot Jeff, who was beamed to little HP, but he turned things around immediately, and he managed to connect all his shots on the players at ESO, and he got literally a W of spawn over there. So it's like it's crazy. You can have the most insane aim, and you can be 1 HP and do a madness of a clutch.
Yes, yes, definitely. In previous seasons, right there, there was a particular week that I casted for, I think, Yonkers. I must say, they were left with two players, and these guys went and killed the last. I think the last three teams that was in that particular lobby. They were on. They kept everybody in check with really low health. They kept on barging in from left, right. I was amazed that I lost my voice screaming on top of my voice at the performance they brought that particular day. So definitely we do see some clutches like that, and yeah, it's just always comes once in a while, and it's crazy when it does. I must say, Iro.
Yeah, yeah, it's always a beautiful moment, and we get to capture it for a lifetime. Because if you want to perhaps watch all the previous things, you can definitely do that on the YouTube channel. But now we are getting into this place, and for Sandhawk, we are talking too much and not costing a lot.
Yeah, right now I don't know a lot of these teams. Aside the teams that really landed close to each other, a lot of these teams are not that close right now, which is an indication that we are going to have our work right in front of us towards that final zone. I must say. So definitely, it's just a delay, but when it happens, oh man, we are
Yeah, it's
in
going to
for a
be
ride.
interesting to see exactly how these players play. But if you look at Chopper, I mean, Tempest, Agony, Aura, they just look like they're in for danger. Hazali's on the cliff over there. He lines up the shots. He gets two. It's GG's. It's now down to a single play over there. Ara, who's under the water. Hazali, unable to see exactly where he is, but he needs to come up at some point to breathe. And there you go. He is up, but Zaylee's unable to notice him trying to run across the cliff to maybe get a shot. And he does got his aim sight ready. And there goes the breathe. And Ara is able to just get out of this one successfully. Zaylee just unable to detect exactly where Ara is located. So let's see exactly what happens over here. And we will have to see.
Yeah, it is crazy right now. You can see Zaylee sniffing out the possibility for that one extra Q point right there. And it does not seem like he's willing to let this one go anytime soon. Ara is just going to be taking his time. He knows there's no way out of this one if he makes a pop up or tries to fight back. Definitely Zaylee is just out here. Underrated esports, even though they are their name is underrated. But oh, he's got to be careful. Chapo is off in the distance, might be looking towards this position to, get his teammate out of this. Piku is got himself in right now. And if Zeli gets down at this on this rock, he might be getting finished because it's such open one. But I would love to see, would love to see how it all turns out for them.
Yeah, but Zayli, he's managed to pick up 2 kills already for his team. Possibly going to be picking up 3 anytime now. And you can see YKI also making the rotations on the lateral over there. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens. You got everyone almost into the zone. You just left with the NGX to make that rotation in there. And then this is now going to start unfolding. But you can see in that center zone, it's looking like a massacre is just about to happen right here as MGC, Chopper, no, the players over here set up and ready.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are just, I don't blame them for doing this. They've gone back, watched the stream, try to, see out the teams that are out here that are making the names that are finishing up on top of that leader, but are doing it. They see a lot of them are, rotating deeper, faster, trying to get better positioning. So they are also making that conscious effort to put themselves in such a position to keep themselves abreast of this lobby to make sure they are going to be getting that winner chicken dinner, because that is what you want to keep your eyes on right now. As underrated esports is going to keep going on the onslaught,
Yeah,
blood spotting aimless. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. I mean, you can just see already Revenge picking up a kill on Aimless over there. And yeah, they are setting in a dominance of note.
Yes, dominance out here, man. Dominance, not taking anything for granted, not taking anybody out there for granted. You see them, they try to get in there and get that pushing, get that shot in. You can see them also controlling bootcamp quite well. Of Godfragger off on the distance, just a bit of the underrated esports guys. They might be running. I think they've actually gotten pinned down as well right now, and you don't want to get pinned down in that particular position because right behind you is just water getting out of that position. If the zone decides to rotate away from boot camp right now, oh, God Fragger and his team is going to be in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, but Jeff looking to be eliminated. I think the entire team has gotten team wiped, but already my MVP for that Osborne fight that we get to see from them. And RIPT, they made it into the end game last time around, but now they've lost already Audacity. So, the team is already at a disadvantage going into fights, but he turns around. He says it's good for me. I will get a beam on that player, and they do manage to knock one. And now they can get to the eliminations and try push in on this team because they've the numbers to be equal, and Logic goes down as well. And this is just the GG's. Throws in a little bit of a grenade, maybe to try get that confirmation, but it's just Logic in that building, so they can make in a decision to go in and double key so that they can get some confirmation points over there. So you can see while they're busy eliminating Logic on their end, you can see Don and them trying to get the revive.
Wow, this is beautiful. I do love the onslaught coming in from RPT right now. They are finding the angles. What is quite surprising right out here is that they made the open ground push with just about 2 smokes right out there, and then X was frustrated quite enough to make them push up onto this position as Rage already cornering them right in there. And it's
Oh,
what?
oh,
10x again.
oh, Rix, he comes in from behind. What a
This is
flank for a
This is
note.
exactly the same thing they did with Sims Outplayed. You remember that, man?
Yes, yes.
Second
Wow.
time in a row.
They played that so well. For the most part, RPT thought this is it. We're gonna go 50-50 in the closet, but no, Rex jumps through the window, he gets in, he gets involved, and he sends them back to the lobby. But now 10X is down to a 3-man squad, as they did get that confirmation onto Logic. So that is gonna be them trying their level best to do the most they can.
Wow, I am still shocked from that performance from 10x, given they just had a really tough one with Sims outplayed. It's just crazy how they turned themselves around and being able to actually hold that kind of fight right now. And a lot of these teams are also taking damage out here. You can see Daniel just got confirmed right there. BBC still sitting pretty over right there in that mock and. This guy's coming into the zone. I would love to see how they are going to be doing because it's going to be there's going to be a lot of choke points around this axis. Messi not showing any mercy on this axis. Everyone coming towards this position, getting down as Immortals gets taken out. Oh, man.
GG, Smith, Mercy, they're all doing a little bit of damage over here. 4 kills already, and we still have 11 squads. So, a lot of these teams could potentially be walking out with double-digit kills if they to play it properly. Underrated Esports still in the same area, has the zone boot camp over there, around about there. They seem to be, a team that would possibly be getting all these kills, trying to set dominance. But for the most part, I'm happy they're taking a breather and understanding the communities and the oppositions they're up against, because they get to really play to the best of their abilities.
Yes, 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 definitely. You see, this particular gameplay, this particular zone setup coming up right now. Earlier in the game, a lot of these teams landed towards the western part of the map. This is what is happening right now. A lot of these teams are trying to go in towards that bridge or swimming from the western part of the map, and that western side is actually getting choked up as Nick Nax get beamed off from the distance right there by Zayli. Zayli putting in the work right there. That is just some amazing thing going up out here, man.
Yeah, he's done a bit for the team in Sandhawk right now. He's definitely a strong pillar that you don't want to have, get eliminated this early on. So the team needs to form a trio formation, and Zayli's just the one dealing all the damage across over here. But it is a team effort, so for the most part, the calls, the communication is what gets the team some kills. And they are 4 kills away from those double digits that we were talking about. Daily, for the most part, now needing to take a little bit of heals because he's been taking on some damage. And we're down to 30 players in the map. Supreme manages to get a confirmation on Kitten, and you can just see underrated esports Drip as well getting involved over there. So they are just sitting docked, making those slow rotations on the blue zone, trying to get in as much shots as they can. And for the most part, it is working. But they must be careful with Godfragger, Turbo to the right of them. Does look like they could potentially have the advantage over there. For Supreme, No Mercy, and Shield, it just looks like 10x is in a sticky situation. I don't see how they get out of this one alive because they're in the blue zone over here, and there's no way to get on the land unless there's some port where they can get in.
Yeah, unless they pull a rabbit out of the hat or a hat out of the rabbit, as they done. At least they've done that quite well now, but it's not looking too good for them. Now, luckily enough for them, the team has decided to get out of dodge, get out of that position, get into the zone, prioritize that zone. This is one thing you see some teams do a lot because getting into that zone early, it's actually quite wise because you don't want to, because of 2 kills, lose out on that placement point right there. But one thing I must say I commend these guys for is being able to make that decision, meaning they have been watching this position to see if there are enemies out there, and they were able to drive straight into that position, leaving one man ahead, Numesi, right there, to go get the information, scout. And I'm pretty sure he's giving them the information, and you can see them already getting into their vehicle and
Yeah.
moving on in
That
with
is
BBC at
good.
center.
That is so good. I like the communications and strategies that we are seeing today in the Inkosi. Definitely, season 4 is showing up to par already with new teams and new blood in the community over here. So I'm really excited to see exactly what the next few weeks are going to be looking like. And in fact, let's jump to promotion relegation, please.
Can't wait, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But Paradise Resort, it looks like it is gonna be that exactly. And we're gonna be having an interesting combat of note between these teams. Does look like Zayli, the one who's been the pillar for the team, is knocked right now, but does seem to be get revived, so that's really good for the team because you want underrated esports going into the end game has a full squad because then we will see when the chicken dinners coming out from them. But there's solid teams that are still alive. BBC, Supreme, and them as well. YK I has as well is in here. For the most part, No Mercy is gonna get knocked now. Shield, Supreme, and Akil now need to make the decision to whether leave him behind because in these tough positions you can't really have a player knocked because third parties get involved quickly and you can already see some of these things happening.
Yes, I must say. In as much as the team plays as a unit, you have to, as an individual player, limit the risk you are opening, exposing yourself to, because each knock you give out, if you take a knock for your team, if each knock, each time you get knocked, it's really crazy because you leave your team exposed to a particular axis because one person needs to drop back to get you up, and then it's just two guns you got out there, which you don't want to be happening. Effectively, at that point in time, it's just two players that are up at the moment. If you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying, Nairo. So you
yeah.
want to, as much as possible, make sure you are in the game. You are keeping yourself from getting knocked, as well as getting those knocks on the enemy team right out in the distance. As you can see, shots just ringing left, right, and center. Shout getting knocked. I think 10x just getting some confirmation onto their team, and it is hot, bro.
It is indeed. And, for the Sandhawk, you do have a quite the number going into this position of zone. Usually the case is, you have like maybe five squads or even less players alive, but it is a slow game from these guys. And, they may be still very not that confident seeing that it's only the second week of Inkosi. So now they're still getting to understand each other, and maybe they're not going to understand each other to the fullest because one week you're here, next week you're not. Active gaming, for example, not here today to show exactly how active they can be in the lobbies. But I'm gonna put a foot now and call a BBC win. I don't know. I feel like fear is just gonna set in that tremble in the map, and we're just gonna see beams coming out from him.
Yeah, BBC does seem to be in a pretty good spot. I can't say sad about that because I've been calling it for them earlier on. So definitely would love to see something apart from a caster's jinx today. It's gonna be pretty to see that. And but we still have yet another team looking to actually make their way deeper into. You can see just Supreme and his teams right there. Kill no mercy, just slowly but surely rotating right around towards underrated esports. But I don't know. They are trying to cover too many angles right now, try to make sure no one else comes in behind them. They've got a 2-2 split coming up right now. They need to make sure they do not get that knock, they don't get knocked in this process. But underrated esports already doing the work, putting in the work right now. As Akil is gonna bring in that need. Are we gonna see a cut? Oh damn.
Oh,
Oh no.
yeah, he's taking in quite the damage, and that was a really good trade over there. Not really trade as much because that grenade did not connect. He didn't have enough time to set up a good Colby shot of a grenade, and
Oh, he
it
did.
was. Did he connect?
Yes, he did. He actually got
Oh
it.
damn, that's actually nice because he's burning up and he's under the pressure, but he made it work. And now I'm seeing BBC on the back of the wall because they had a full squad just moments before, but it does look like they're gonna lose one of their members over there. And now Supreme, Akil, No Mercy, and Shield do look like maybe they could win this, but in fact. Underrated esports is still in this one as well. Zaylee, Revenge, Drip, and Dylan. So, anything's possible. And we have, two full squads and a couple other squads with members down.
Yeah, definitely. Well, back in the days, this paradise resorts is what we call the monkey position right there because you see a lot of people just jumping in places you never think they would be. Look at this man moves just on top of that roof trying to see if he could spot anyone off on the distance. This is such a great position that he could do a lot of damage from if he gets eyes onto his enemies, I must say. But you can see a lot of these guys navigating this paradise resorts quite well. SJ off in the distance, just using those little fence off. Right there, BBC using the height advantage. You got underrated esports on the other side, just keeping that backside really good. And up here you got Supreme and his team just making sure that monkey post axis towards the front part is just well covered in. And underrated esport drip does seem to be making his push towards Akid right now. As a lot of blood and sand is getting mixed up on the other end. Bro, what?
Yeah, the action over here. Now you can see underrated esports fully wiped
Eating up.
out, gone out of the game, just like that,
Yes.
within
Vice
seconds.
versa.
And that is GG's. But three squads, and it does look like SG, Chico, and Lucifer are going to be going up against, the likes of Mercy, Suprema, Kill, as well as BBC. For the most part, BBC are doing the things, jumping around, getting into good positions. Supreme and them are in the buildings, but they're down to 3 men. BBC is down to 3 men, and you do have a 3v3 going into play right over here. Havoc and Fear waiting in behind as Muzz is just running around the buildings trying to make, a distraction maybe for Mercy and them to say, okay, well, we do have the individuals on top of the building. But now Havoc and them, they're going to be situated on the low grounds, and maybe that's not the play for the team.
Interesting. Mars is going to. This is what I keep saying about Paradise Resort. This is a monkey position right there. He literally jumped onto the road, then jumped down and caught this guy completely unawares right in the corner of that room. And they are pushing forward slowly but surely right there, taking the players one after the other. You can see they've tipped the numbers towards their favor right now. You can see it's a 3v2, I must say, but no, this man finds him up that angle really quickly. Moss using the M249 to work and finishing him off right now. Ooh, it's going to be PH there right there. M249 to. Ooh. Come on. Who got that?
GG's. I did say I'll put a foot down on BBC and they won't win the game. And there we go. They definitely come through with that. 9 kills in
Yay.
total. And that's just going to be amazing. Shield Supreme, no mercy, and a kill. They picked themselves up. 8 kills and second place. SG, Chico, Lucifer, Rabio, and Tino managed to grab third, taking out underrated esports in that one-on-one comeback that they had in the corners over there. But it's only 6 kills that they pick up in a Sandhawk map. Sandhawk is meant for action, meant for that aggressive plays. But we are excited to see, different teams sort of dominate each game and set a tight leaderboard yet again, just like week number 1.
Yes. I must say, I must confess, I am really excited about BBC getting to win this one. Happy, you see, BBC.
Yeah, I saw. You were right. You were right for your prediction. BBC was really. I am shocked. Like this game. I think you heard me like shouting on one part, like GSC versus 10X. I was like, what is happening? They had good starting points, good starting positions, but then 10X like took them out. Like I think it was a bomber that didn't see the other one coming behind him.
Yeah.
It was really shocking. Like and Ziley from underrated esports.
Oh, amazing.
Did you remember what he did? What the hell? He went on the coast and like killed every other member of the other team. Like
yeah.
It was like a surprising game. So let's see the standing first before coming back to the impressions of the game because the game was very hot. Let's see the standings.
Oh, amazing.
Oh,
amazing.
okay. So we're going to come back like on the game. Like it was really surprising. Like at the end, where did 10X go? Where did where did underrated esports go? I don't understand what happened. Like Viper, can you tell me what happened? I don't understand.
In the heat of games like this where everyone is just trying to survive, if you are not as attentive and trying to keep it together as much as possible, you are going to get lost in track of time. Even though 10X performed quite well today, they were unfortunately stuck in the water down below yet another team that was right above them, and the zone was pushing in. So I believe they were unable to actually make it to the zone in time. It's quite unfortunate they had such stellar performance in the beginning of the game. Near clutches every single time, and it was just quite painful to see them go out that early. And the standings is here.
Yeah, we can see BBC the first place. Like they were 10th on the first game, and like now they are first. Like maybe Iro get us through the standings, because I'm really in a state of shock right now. Iro, can you get us through these standings? Like it's
BBC managing
yeah.
to get the winner chicken dinner over there with 9 kills, 24 points in total. Demented Prodigy in second place with 20 points. Underrated Esports taken out in fourth. But just look at that elimination count that they have. Securing 11 kills. They're now on
Yeah.
19th. Spaza 5 in fourth with 16th. New Generation X Power in fifth with 11 points. 10x Esports, amazing team. Sixth place with 10 points, 9 kills, by the way. And Your Killer is in seventh place with 6 points. TBS with an eighth place position. IB7 with ninth. And then coming out in 10th is going to be SBWL with 1 point. And then all the way on the second page, we got No Way Out with 1, Immortal Knights with 1, 13th place is Vampire Esports with 1, Raptors with 1 point over there, and Seems Outplayed and Godspeed coming out in 15th and 16th. So SO grabbing a donut score as well as Godspeed, and they really need to come through with game number 3 if they want to push themselves up.
Yeah, we
Nice.
saw in the first game, like one member of SO Moon. Like I name him the little butterfly because he has fly on his back. I don't understand. He didn't get a lot of flight time today. Like he was eliminated like very very soon. Viper, what happened?
Well, I would say it's all thanks to But Jeff and his team, because
Yep.
they came in very early. They landed on each other, and like one thing I always tell these teams is, in as much as possible, if you can avoid landing on another team, it would be good, because these teams, you don't want to land on each other. It could go either way. 50-50. You could not be counting on one person holding an angle. You could not be counting on one person's adrenaline pumping so well, handling that situation so perfectly, shot after shot, dropping players after players. So you want to keep your distance at least in the first few minutes of the game, so that you'll be able to get that kills in, get that traction, get that dynamics of the game as well. So it is what it is. It's quite unfortunate. They could have gone far, but it happened.
Yeah, yeah, it happened. So Iro, what do you think about the third game? Who will perform for you?
Honestly, you have to say the likes of that have already been doing well. We went from Erangel to Sandhawk, and those are two different like aspects. Long distance to short distance, and you still had underrated esports in the end game. You had BBC in the end game. So I really feel like these two teams can go into Miramar and still set that dominance that they did in week number 1. I don't want to say SO because they're scary to predict on now.
Okay, so we're gonna see what will happen in the next game. So we're going to go on a short break, and we'll see each other tout à l'heure, as we say in French. À tout à l'heure. So, Welcome back to season 4 of the Inkosi Super Cup by Nodwin Gaming. So today, like these games, man, they are so surprising. They are so hot. I don't. I'm really, hein? I'm really. Comme on dit en français, je suis vraiment choquée. C'est chaud, ça chauffe. C'est gâté. Like you know,
Gatti.
as I like to say, c'est gâté, c'est gâté.
It's lit.
Parce que vraiment, là, c'est trop chaud. Les jeux sont trop chauds. Tout le monde gagne, tout le monde perd, on comprend rien. We don't understand anything. So we are going to see quickly the standings of the previous games. We can see that BBC went from 10th to 1st with 15 place points from the last game, 9 kills. That makes them 24 points. The Mented Prodigy with 12 placement points, 8 kills, 20 total points. Underrated Esports, which was like, if I can say, my favorite team. My favorite team with 8 place points, 11 kills. Spadza 5, 10 place points, 6 kills. Like, it was really shocking, this game. Like new generation, 6 place points, 5 kills, 10 X esports. I don't know what happened with them. They were so performant in the last game, but they're only 6th place. Ils sont que 6e. On a no way out. We have Immortal Knights, Vampire Esports, Raptors AF, seems outplayed, who seemed really outplayed, and Godspeed in last position. But we hope to see really more on these last games in Miramar. So how do you feel, Iro? What do you think is the good strategy to go with on this last game on Miramar?
Miramar is all about positioning. You want to get yourself in the best heights on the mountains. You know, try get your early positioning because it's long distance. I mean, it is snipers. It's literally trying to get as much damage as you can from distance, and that's what these players are going to be doing. And you know, your mobility and the way you move around the map needs to be safe. You need to get some cover because you can get beamed from a distance and people can sneak up from you. So yeah, honestly, I feel like the strategy for these teams is to get those early rotations in, get those good positionings and so forth, and you know, try to secure as much placements as they can possibly. But it is Miramar, and we have seen 20 kills plus drop from teams and so forth. So a lot of these guys are probably going to be doing that. You know, when they get those early positionings, they will be lining up those shots and they will be getting in as much eliminations as they can.
Yeah, what do you think, Viper? Do you think that your favorite team, BBC, will perform as well as they perform on Sandhawk as in Miramar, or will they be like in a really low position like in the first game? What do you feel?
At this point, I really wouldn't want to see anything because I don't want to jinx nobody right now. And so I'm just going to be, I'm just going to be neutral about it. But about Miramar right out here, Miramar, you can approach Miramar with several tactics right out there. But one thing that stays constant in Miramar is you always need that mobility. You
Yeah.
need to get as much vehicles as you can to make your movement. It is a large map, quite planned, quite open. The only thing you have to work with mostly are hills, valleys, descendants, and whatnot. So definitely you want to make sure you have that mobility locked down.
Mm.
Yeah. So what if you were inside the game? What would you do, like to best these teams?
Well, to start with my landing spots, I'm going to make sure within the first minute of the game where I'm landing, I'm getting in as much vehicles that I can, which means I have to split up the team. If I'm the high GL, split up the team. You go get us vehicles, scouts for where we are going to get other vehicles. Then the others try as much as possible to get weapons and look out for weapons for their teammate as well that is getting the vehicle for them. This has to be well planned, well trained team, I must say, because you have to be really, really disciplined to pull this off. So they get all this together, and then with immediate effect, we make our rotations based on where the zone has popped, as well as trying to take in as much information as we can and working towards the zone with these informations that we have in hand. Because without these informations, you're probably going to run out in the open with the team just waiting on the hill right behind you, or you are going to run into another team that is trying to rotate. So all these things, you need to keep them down and watch as you do it to keep ahead of your enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's true. So, Iro, I want to ask you a question because Viper, I already asked him last week, but do you know Uka Uka? Do you know him? Do you know
Nah,
Uka Uka?
I don't know that. What is that?
Uka Uka is the African spirit of esports. So for the last game, I want to ask the spirit of Uka Uka to give courage, to give I don't know, the good strategies to these teams to win the chicken dinner because it's very very hot today. Ça chauffe vraiment, c'est chaud. So
True.
you can ask, we can ask together. Uka Uka, please.
Uka, uka.
Oh yeah, Uka, come on.
Come on. Deal with
Bring it
us.
on, Uka,
So we're
uka.
going to the game and going to leave you to it. Take us away.
Yeah, no, game number 3, Miramar. It's gonna be interesting. Very, very huge map that we have on our hands over here, and the drop spots are very crucial on where you land, how you rotate. You can see just like by the map, those hills, those cliffs ingraded into the grounds over there. So we talked about it. We talked about how mobility is crucial. Those vehicles are crucial because you're going to need to use them to rotate in the map over here, Viper.
Yeah, definitely. Always, always crucial. You see, most of these teams, they know that. Majority of them know that already, and would definitely keep it in their gameplay plans and tactics. So definitely, I don't know. This flight part is a bit not it for me today, I must say, because if your drop is the El Pozo, and probably you have like a secondary drop location just a bit down south towards Picado or whatnot. It's going to be a bit difficult for you because a lot of teams are going to be coming towards your second drop spot, and it might not be that easy as you might not have gotten enough time to train in that position. So it's I don't know the flight. Oh, come on, what is going on with these zones today?
Yeah, that's disaster for most of these guys. Maybe they're rethinking on what they can do better. Aimless already getting a knock there on Vam, Ragnar. So that's going to be interesting to see exactly what Vampire can do in this position. But yeah, that zone, man, is going to bite people. I mean, we got half of it in in water. So, but that's going to shrink over to the lands, hopefully by Manas Generals. So we'll be seeing some of them go over there. Aimless and BBC are just taking up the fights there by Vam, and you can see them picking up some knocks. They're already done 2. No confirmations just yet, but you know how crucial getting a confirmation is. It's that kill point, and there's a Z God finally confirmed.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how majority of these sports right now has at least two teams already dropped on each other. Oh, Vam, gotta be careful on that one. No window to jump out on. Vam is swimming around trying to make his full step as plentiful as possible. Just make them know I am moving out here. If you push, I'm going to get someone down, and unfortunately, that is going to be him out and his team as well. Man, that is Vam out already in 16th place. That's quite unfortunate. And
Man, yeah,
yeah,
GG's. You
GG's
know,
to them.
you're meant to grab a lot of points so that you can try, grow on that leaderboard, get points over there. But for Vam, it was only game number 1 that I saw out from them that really was juicy. Uh, Outside from that, they didn't really produce enough for me.
Yeah, I believe in they still have 6 more weeks to work on their gameplay and their game plan as well. So definitely we'll be looking for them to actually get to this point. It's something. So we'll be looking to see what they will be bringing up in the coming weeks, I must say. And as I said earlier on, a lot of these positions has teams. At least 2 teams coming in there. I reckon that is as a result of that flight path that I talked about earlier on. As you can see, just to the eastern part of Chumasera, just down south right there with RPT and I believe Team SBWL. Up north, everywhere is just clogged up right there with teams looking to get the shot into each other. We are going to be seeing a lot of early fights. And you know what is going to be crazier right now, Iro?
Yep.
If the next zone pops and we have about half of that next zone still in water, it is going to be
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. You literally forcing these guys to get those available spots that they can't get cover in, and it's just going to be scary to see exactly what happens. And but for now, it's a matter of zones forming, players getting the best loot, and you can see the storm ice starting to shrink right there, the blue zone getting smaller, so we're going to be seeing that rotation soon. And Zaylee in the kill feed, finally we get to see his name pop up. I was waiting for that because he is a monster of note. He also does get a confirmation on Muzz, so that's going to be GG's. But look who we have, that could potentially fight each other over there. It's going to be interesting. Oh,
Underrated esports, man. They've done a lot of damage, I must say. And man, seems outplayed might be looking to.
Oh, they finally met. Oh, could this be revenge? They've got 10x in their sights. SO and 10x about it yet again. Logic off in the distance might be getting out of dodge real quick or probably going into try to rescue the rest of his teammates right now. It is just crazy on every single axis of this map. This is still zone 1, guys, and we're about 5 minutes 30 seconds into this game, and we got in so much action potentially waiting to happen. One team already out, and
Iroh, it is
yeah,
what it
no,
is.
and not just that, a number of other players have already been eliminated as well. Because, I mean, if we start the game with about 64, 65, 63 players, so look at that. That's 8 players being eliminated already. So, a couple
Already.
of solos from players and so forth. But it does look like Zaylee and Fear, one of the pillars for the teams, going up against each other. But it does look like, Zaylee may have the cover needed because there's Clutch Guard who's able to throw in a couple of his grenades over here, but they have BBC Fear cornered and ready for the kill. They must just watch out that maybe Clutch God does not get eliminated in these situations because you still want your full trio alive over here.
I'm pretty sure that is why he's even taking it slow because if he pushes up there, he's gonna get knocked and eliminated. Easy peasy. Because if I were to be fair, if I get that knock, I'm gonna do everything possible, everything in my possible best to make sure I confirm that knock, no matter what happens. But right now, what is quite amazing is that these guys have been unable to, get those throwables into that position that Fear is to get that knock on him. This is something that is we see a lot in the African scene. These guys are exceptional with grenades, but it's quite surprising how this is happening today. I would love to see how this one is going to turn out for Fear. He's taking it real slow. He knows.
Oh,
Interesting, Clutch God.
yeah, it
This is
does.
this is this is just brilliant.
It could be a literally a play that could go in favor for them. Maybe Zaylee goes in from downstairs and Clutch Guard goes in from the sky, but really, what could you do in this position?
So the trick right now, see what they did. This is beautiful teamwork. They distracted him with the guys coming from down, and Clutch God came from on top. That was just beautiful gameplay. They planned this quite well. This is what you see with a team that communicates quite well. They distracted him with 2 people coming up the stairs, and the guy that went up on top just came behind him with a beautiful flank right there, getting that kill point. This is why you see these guys on top of the leaderboard week after week because they are communicating, they are putting in the work, man.
Honestly, definitely amazing teamwork. You just like to see how he positioned himself, but it didn't go in aggressive. He waited for the call and communication and the distraction to come into play, and that really worked out in favor for the team. So underrated esports working in ways we don't really get to see that much often in PUBG Mobile. You know, the teamwork and uniqueness that they apply to the teams and so forth. But now we are getting into this zone where everyone now is pinched into making the rotation in, and we can see everyone get closer to each other. But we are still far from the winner chicken dinner. Who do you think is going to be winning this game?
At this point, I really can't say much because it does seem it's really hard to call situations like this. But underrated esports does seem to be handling them so
Quite
quite
well,
well.
and check out that next zone, I must say.
Oh
Check it
yeah,
out.
yeah, that's gonna be tricky, man. You got some cover for everyone, but it's gonna be a tight cover for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely tight out there. The best way for you to actually survive out here right now would be to try to get yourself into that pristine position where you get as much cover as you need, even to make your rotations if the zone is going to pop away from you. But right now, something else just flew into my mind as I was talking. Look at the position where that drop is going right now, right on that
Uh,
island.
do you
Imagine
see
if
10x maybe going over there?
interesting.
It's gonna be tricky. I mean, it's a little bit of a bait though. It's like come and get me, but you'll be trapped if you do so.
It would be. I won't find it too surprising if the zone ends up on that drop.
I don't know. I really doubt it, man. It's like we are just gonna be seeing the first competitive game of Nordwind being in the ocean. I wonder how that's gonna be playing.
I would love it because yeah, it happened on my watch. I would really love that.
Yeah, you can see Esso. They here, and Esso Snipe probably happy to be in Miramar because of his name. Maybe he's gonna be dealing the damage for the team of Esso, but a good position. We did say find yourself on the heels, and maybe you'll be able to get those good shots on these guys. So yeah, now we come down. We only have 14 teams remaining, 48 players. So again, another seven have been eliminated in the time of that blue zone shrinking, and it's yet to shrink yet again for these players, and they need to now make those rotations. And you can already see BBC Aimless picking up some kills on GSC. GSC just haven't had their time as well in the week 2 of the Inkosi Super Cup. So most of these guys need to come with a fresh mentality going into the third, fourth, fifth weeks and so forth, because it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they play it out, whether they even make it into these stages, because it is near impossible to do so. For the most part, we do have all these teams trying to make the rotations in. Just look, however, at SG, Rapid, Tino, as well as No Mercy, Shield, and Akil, all in the zone and playing it slowly, making those rotations in the zone over there. NG looking to make the rotation on the dead side of zone as well. I say dead zone because you do not have anyone rotating in that despair of area.
Yeah, you don't. And but Jeff with that M249 in hand already, it's pretty. It's pretty nice to see when teams actually come out and give that performance. TBS does seem to want to push up onto that RPT position right now. Strong is going to try to defend himself. I think it's just a game of numbers at this point. This numbers is going to overwhelm the RPT guys, which just happened right there. I think they have just one more player left up alive. Reach Darkness is going to be reaching for that. He's got to be careful. This told you just now. The audacity he had to push audacity up there just got him knocked right now. And the rest of the team is going to be coming from the corners, and Rage might be clutching this one up, but Genji says no. Today I am going to get you down. He has pretty much taken down a lot of his health and goes in for the
Oh,
finish real quick.
geez, man. TBS had to do that. They had to set the dominance in that fight because they haven't shown to party as well, and this is the time to grab those points. We do know those kill points are going to be crucial going into the end game. Still, look at a kill, no mercy, and then they still in the zone. as well as Tino and Rabio. So, like, the Rapid, that's just going to be GG's over there. Two drops are in the ocean, but the zone is not going to be formed over there. It's rather going to be in the middle of Junkyard as well as Minas Generals. So, this is going to be an interesting way. It's an open field plan. Some of these guys are going to be on some cliffs. Some of these guys are going to be in some huts. And some of these guys, like Chapo, Tempest, Agony, and Ara, are going to be safe and sound.
I really do want to talk about Device right now because it's the solo guy left up alive, but I don't want to get him jinxed. But I am going to do it anyway. Device has been slowly but surely rotating his way around teams. He even got chased a little bit by IXT, but by his prowess of being able to evade teams, he was able to get to the edge of that beach right there and sit pretty, just waiting right there, just waiting it out, waiting for these teams to get each other out of the way. And Chapo, this man has also been doing some good work than the previous matches. I believe over in South, he was the man on the off angle, just getting the shots in. We love to see what he's going to be doing right now. And Device pops up, makes himself know, spots Collins off at the distance, popping a lot of shots. I I don't know what I think about what he just did right now. Probably needs to get more trigger discipline right now because the team right there would know, yeah, there's someone over in the position. And assuming he had maybe an M4 and an AK, he could have played it off like there are multiple people shooting at the same time. So right now they know he's in that position and could be pushing up to his. I don't know. It's just my thought, Iro.
Yeah, no, honestly, it could possibly happen. And it would be interesting. Rabbit finally dying to the play zone. I wonder what was the play over there, to make such long, vast distance rotations in the zone. You are going to be eaten up if you don't have any consumables and bandages and so forth. The only team to do, the play zone successfully in my books was Yonkers.
Yeah, every single match with Sanhok, they always did get that in the book. Like every single you are expecting when it reaches top three, top four, you are looking for the last team, and there is Yonkers just sitting somewhere inside the zone, just healing up and whatnot. Even in other maps, they don't rotate too early, and yet
Yeah.
they always find a way to get themselves right where they need to be.
Yeah, definitely. But now we are here, guys, into the zone. We're going to be seeing that storm ice shrink even further. And, these players are going to get closer to each other. Chapo does look to be having a good location on to underrated esports. HD Tino gets taken down yet again. Look at Thor, Lucifer, they're all on 1 HP. And I don't see how they survive this. Thor needs to grab some consumables now, and he does so just in time. But
But
it's
why
taking
though?
quite
Why?
a
Why?
lot.
Why did they take so long in the zone? This zone is really hot. You don't want to spend this much time in the zone, and a whole team, nearly a whole team, got wiped out by that zone. Just one man left, and he needs to play the survivor game right there. See the team count just dropping really quickly as a lot of these teams are just dropping to the zone right now, and seems outplayed and 10x seems to always be going at each other's throat right there, as we can see shots just ringing out, and that next zone is really tiny, man.
Oh, and it
It's
moves yet again. So no time to relax. He's on the brink of rotation yet again. And weird to see at 10x, on the position where we saw SO. So SO trying to make that rotation maybe a bit too early. And then 10x just made the play to get on top of the cliffs that we see him on over there. And
and
Plus trying to get in a couple shots over there.
yeah, definitely. They forgot that they had a moon.
Yeah,
Ye-
and has Appy says a butterfly, so he's gonna fly to the moon over there and maybe get some eliminations. But
Yes.
look over here, underrated esports on the back of the wall with Revenge already
Ooh.
down, but Clutch God managing to take down Moon and Zaylee trying to get the vehicle blown up over there, maybe to do some damage. But Moon almost getting confirmed over there to third parties. It could potentially be, but Clutch God gets taken down by Snipe, and Clutch God is gonna get confirmed. Zaylee and Dylan, unfortunately, nowhere close to the teams to try help their mates out over there. So that is just gonna be a GG's. They're now down to two players, and we want them to play better. We want to see them getting much more points going into this one. But it does look like Moon, Snipe, and Impulse, they back into this one. 3-man, and they do have the numbers set and ready to go into this one. But oh my, a
Iroh,
Kobe grenade of note!
Iroh.
And the Inkosi Super Cup is just showing to party. They want to get involved over here. They want to get those eliminations. And they do so indeed because 10x Rex is able to third party and pick up a Dylan who's potentially
Iroh.
was looking at getting that over there. Fantastic play from SO.
What?
Amazing.
Iroh, what?
Amazing, Viper. Amazing.
Sim outplayed, pushed a full squad of underrated esports from an open ground position.
This is revenge for game number 1. I don't know if you remember, but they did have that interaction where
Yes.
underrated esports did come through with ease and eliminate them, but they definitely turned the tables around game number 3 and did the exact same thing, killing underrated esports with ease.
This is the kind of spirit we love to see from our African teams. Even though you get beaten down, you come back on that horse, you ride that horse straight to victory. I must say, I really love that play coming in from the guys from Sim Outplayed, because they didn't have a really good game last match, and yet they came in with still that same effort, still that same power, still that same zeal to win this game. And so the way they are going, well, let me just keep it like that, man, before I jinx them yet again. But it's beautiful, such gameplay. I love to see such gameplay. And 10x is right now just sitting right dead center on this zone as the rest of the team are looking to make their way into the zone. Need to make their way really quickly because zone 6 is just around the corner.
Yeah.
Device is still alive.
He's still alive, and for the most part, I'm surprised he's actually taking shots. He's trying to get in a couple damage over there, but as a solo, you want to play passive, you want to play placement as much as you can. He's going to make the rotations in the vehicle, and a big one for that matter. So again, he's making a lot of noise, he's making a lot of presence in the zones over here. So when teams start to look at him, and when he jumps out of this one, we may see some trouble. But Moon and them are just not stopping as they get another elimination onto Ara, and his device here has a solo. Is gonna try to get some cover in by the van. I just talk about, has a solo doing this. It's crazy. I think for the most part, he's setting up smoke grenades a bit too early as well.
Yeah, so I love the fact that one thing I must say right now is I love the fact that even though he's all on his own, he's still trying, he still has the fighting spirit. He's just not sitting somewhere and camping it out. He's actually putting in the work, and he's actually doing it quite well, I must say. Because check this man out, he's alive. He just pushed back that man from Impulse, from Sims Outplayed, pushed him back like, don't come towards my position. I know what I'm doing. And if you make a mistake right now, I'm going to make you regret it. But he's got to be careful because there's lots and lots of teams right around him. There's only so much he can do. There's only so much angles he can cover right now. You can see he's just looking to push up towards his position. Got to be careful on that one. I got my eyes on device right now. I must say, I really must say.
Amazing, yeah. SO Moon, 5 kills already. We are down to 9 squads, 21 players over here, and it's an open field plan area. So the guys with vehicles, the guys with mobility, they may potentially have the advantage. And look at Anonymous. Anonymous gets a good knock over there. Shroud, YKI, honestly doing a bit of peace. And, they're doing the most they can in this situation. Grenades, grenades, grenades. I don't think I've ever seen this much grenades in a Node 1 Gaming Cup.
Yeah, of course, he's definitely not seen this much grenades. It's almost like a mini red zone out here. And the device is still up alive. The man that pushed him, see, he was able to actually knock and get the confirm onto that one. So I am rooting for this man. Top 8 right there. Oh, your killer is getting it hard on right there. Gotta be careful out now. You
Yeah.
don't want to be giving kills away like that because nades are going to be following to get those confirmations. And we all know how that one works out, I must say.
Yeah, no, definitely. 10x, however, down to 2 members. I don't see how they can get this in their advantage. And also, YKI, they have the numbers in terms of their squads to any other squad that is alive. No, I lie. IXT still also have a full squad over here, but it's SO Snipe, dealing the damage, managing to pick up some kills over there. Device takes down Moon, and he's making himself present over here. But however, it's not going to be enough as Impulse manages to pick up Device over there. So that's just going to be a GG's and a heroic act gone to Device.
Yeah, definitely. Device is one player to keep a lookout for, because I was watching that play between SimSouth player and Device. They were all pushing at him like it as a team with 4 guns pointed right at him, and he still managed to get one man down. So definitely kudos right there to that man over there. And 10x just playing it, kind of safe inside this little shack over there. If your killer is could find the right angle to bounce that grenade in, it's going to be really really crazy, as it's going to be a 1-for-2 deal right out there. Look at that drop just sitting pretty, like, come pick me right now.
Oh, definitely. And oh, what a grenade from Haspot over there. They now make the call to go and double key, and they move it in quick. They want this confirmation. Logic in the midst of smoke, hiding in cover. But will it be enough? Does hear the players around them, but they find him. They locate him. They take him out. And your killer is honestly doing a lot this game. I've been seeing them in the kill feed, but it's now down to 5 teams, 13 players. SO Moon still picking up kills. He's managed to do so onto IXT, which we did say was the other squad to have a full member.
Interesting.
But however, SO Snipe is just here, seen outplayed, doing exactly that. And they rarely setting the dominance, getting those confirmations. Now XAT just down to literally one individual over here, or even two for the most part, and a good distribution of players around from SO as they cover up their landscape.
Yes. It is just beautiful what SO is actually doing out here. You can see them. They've got every single angle covered right now. As check it out. IXT Collins just made a quick peep over that hill, and he got beamed right. He got bullets right in front of his face right there by Snipe. But your killer is also taking a lot of damage right now, as they've got 2 down. SO pushing forward, trying to get into that position. Moon already smelling board up in the distance, trying to find that flank. He's saying, not today, we are not going to get that revival. As he takes them down with that M249, he's going to be pushing forward, trying to get this confirmation, finding the last man up alive. As Bot's got to be careful on this one. He needs to find a way to push back, as it is 3 teams left up alive. And
oh man, SO, they've really come back with a story and a half over here. 13 kills to their name. We are down to a literally Genji, who's a solo player for TBS as well. And then this is just a GG's in the books. They know exactly where it's located. There's not much he can do. He's just hugging that cliff of his own. Impulse also there. And this is just a patience game, because he needs to run in the open. That play zone is going to play to the disadvantage of TBS. But good placement points that they've managed to grab themselves over here. That's exactly what they needed, towards the end of there. There goes the winner chicken dinner too. Seems outplayed, and wow, so many kills they managed to grab themselves. That is a bag of no. TBS coming in second with only 5 kills. YKI, I thought they were going to win this one, but unfortunately, seems Outplay who did the most, grabbing 7 kills over there. GG's for YKI.
yeah, it's actually beautiful how Sim played that one with 3 players pushing into that particular position, getting the easy knocks on. I wouldn't say easy, but my bad. But getting those knocks into your killer is changing the narrative of the game just at the critical point of the game right there. It's just beautiful gameplay. Moon doing a lot of work. Snipe also making sure he lives up to his name as well. So it's pretty beautiful how these guys actually played that game, and love to see it.
I don't understand. Really, I don't understand what happened today. Like, the people who were first in the first game went last. The people who were first in the second game did not play. I don't get it. Like, I'm happy that my team, my butterfly team, went first today, but I don't understand quite well what happened for like BBC to go that way. I don't know what. Please, make me understand, Viper. C'est trop chaud.
You
Please,
know,
please.
as I always say, PUBG Mobile, it's a game of. It's not a game of I win you, you win them, and then them can win I. If you try and get what I'm saying, it's a game with different factors that could change how the gameplay is going to come in. Even as a team with a brilliant in-game leader and very attentive teammates that get a lot of information, there are situations whereby you get yourself into that you do not have any you do not have the ability to get yourself out of. So as much as you are trying to move, get yourself in positions, you need to watch out for these situations and reason ahead of these situations. But it so happens that there are times when you just can't escape it. So it's all that little chance out there is just all up to luck. So
Yeah. It was really crazy. Like, let's see the score sheet, like, for this game. Let's see the points. The leaderboard. I don't. This is really shocking. Like, Sims outplayed, went with
Mm.
15 plays, 14 kills today. Like, what happened? Like, Arrow, please take me
Um,
through it. What happened with SO to get in the first place before they weren't playing as well? I don't understand.
Honestly,
Take
it
me
seems
through it.
it seems they found the grip of on their guns, and they managed to just get in the beams that they've been wanting the entire three games. We did see them in game number one with a lot of vibrance, a lot of energy, and the way they played it was amazing. They got those eliminations, and that's what me and Viper thought were gonna happen in Sandhawk. But unfortunately, in Sandhawk, it was that off-spawn fight, and RNG goes into favor. You pick up the wrong gun, you're not gonna win those battles. You're gonna have the opposition's land first, etc. So we didn't even get to see too much from Seams Outplayed in game number two because they had died quite early, very much off spawn. But it was game number three with the three-man lobby that they went in guns blazing, open field to one of the teams, underrated esports, who are looking really solid this season to place on top of the leaderboard. But they went in there with their brooms, with their mops, cleaned it out quickly. Grenades were set ablaze as well, so it was really interesting to see how teams are played really played out today, and it's just fantastic. But that means they grabbing out the feel of the environment. They're learning all the plays and how the teams of the Inkosi Super Cup are playing. So we may just potentially see a trilogy come into action with seems outplayed BBC as well as underrated esports, because these three teams somehow seem to take advantage of the game every single game, and we did see it in game one, game two, and game three from all the three teams that I just mentioned over there. So fantastic stuff, but it's
Yeah.
still a long way to see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens maybe in the next weeks. We don't know. Like, we're going to see that the weekly leaderboard to see which teams are up there on the score sheet. Like, underrated boards are
Ooh.
first, are first. Like,
Hmm.
Viper, take us through it.
it's quite amazing right now because, well, I would say that number one spot right there. I'm not too surprised because they've kept their reading. They've always tried to perform, at least they finish top five, if not even winning each game. So definitely, I'm not surprised to see them on top of the leader. But see, they actually finished up right there with no winner chicken dinner, and on top of that leaderboard with two, I must say. So that is just beautiful gameplay coming in from them. That consistent gameplay, always with the on this page they have the highest number of kills as well. So they are putting in that work, being consistent with their placement point, being consistent with the kill point. It's going to take them places, I must say. I won't be shocked to see them. Maybe it's too early to call it, but I won't be shocked to see them in Umzansi coming next season, definitely. And you can see IBCL not too far off, as well as TBS.
looking really solid on this leaderboard in top three right there. And seems outplayed. That is some nice gameplay coming in from them in this Miramar match, as they have been able to catapult themselves to top four in this leaderboard of week two, I must say. So it's lovely, lovely, lovely gameplay coming from Sims Outplay. I love the fire coming in from them, from Moon especially, and the team Snipe.
Mm.
Everyone is just putting in the work and it's coming out quite well. Raptor AF, your killer is, these guys are in the front page and they should do everything possible to keep themselves in that front page. 10x did have a couple of moments that was beautiful over in Sanhok, and yes, they need to put a lot more work right there. You can see them just topping the list on the second page. In ninth place, I must say Demented Prodigy, Spars of 5, Vampire Esports. I would need these guys to put in a lot more work right there, as well as they are in 10th, 11th, and 12th consecutively. Immortal Knight, they did try to put in the work, but they need to work really harder, train harder to get to where they want to be. No Way Out, Sabwelly, Team SVWL, Godspeed. Just the last three on the leaderboard. You guys need to go back to that drawing table and get things right, but it is what it is. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
well, for my part, I'm waiting for Sims Outplayed, BBC, and 10X next week. Maybe they will be there, maybe they won't. But I'm really interested in these three teams. So for today, the Super Cup is over. Malheureusement, comme on dit chez nous. But you can still come on the Notebook Gaming channel to follow us on the Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. You can follow us everywhere. And please, I will talk to my French viewers now. S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît. On veut des équipes ivoiriennes, on veut des équipes camerounaises, on veut des équipes sénégalaises. Please, French-speaking country, come and register for Inkosi Super Cup. C'est toujours ouvert. Vous pouvez toujours venir vous inscrire pour la semaine prochaine, pour la semaine surprochaine, même vous pourrez gagner un peu de sous. Vous pourrez vous faire assez de comment on dit, assez un nom quoi dans le monde PUBG. So yeah, please come and register. Even if you are not French speaking, I'm talking to my French speaking people because I don't see much of them in the Inkosi Super Cup. But even if you are not French speaking, come and register for week 3, for week 4, anything you want, you can still register. So for today, we're going to end it here, but we will see you all next week and the week after for more PUBG hits, for more PUBG realness. This was Happy, and I was with Iro and Viper, and we'll see you next time. Ciao!